this video, I'm going to be replacing the front brakes and front calipers on this 2013 Chrysler 200. This should be the same from 2011 to 2014. Now the main focus on the video is going to be replacing the front calipers. Now if you do this, you're going to allow air into the system and you're going to need to bleed the brakes. Now if you don't have anyone else around to help you, I'm going to show you how to do this all by yourself. So we're going to replace the entire front brake system with a focus on replacing the front calipers. So let's get this done and get this vehicle back on the road. Driver's side, and first thing we need to do is get the car jacked up off the ground. Once we get it jacked up, we'll go ahead and put in a jack stand for safety and get this front wheel removed. And then I go ahead and slide the wheel under the front end just for a third kind of a safety. All right, so here's kind of a close-up view of the caliper. So you have this piece right here. This is the actual caliper. This is the caliper bracket. We're going to be replacing those. And if we come around here to the back side, we got a bolt right here, and then to remove the caliper bracket, we have this one right here, and we have this one right down here. Now we're going to be removing the caliper first, and that requires removal of these two bolts, and we're going to need a 14mm socket. This bolt here, and then once you remove this, I'm going to run a zip tie because you don't want this hanging from your brake line. Alright, so once you get these loose, you need to pull them out. They're basically like slide pins, and then you just pull your caliper off. And as you can see, I just ran a loop of a zip tie. There's a hole right here in the strut, and I ran it through the hole in the caliper. So now it's out of my way, it's held up, so there's no pressure on the brake line. So now I can continue removing that caliper bracket. So now to remove the caliper bracket, we need an 18mm socket on this bolt right here. And then you have another one right here. Go ahead and loosen those up, and then this whole caliper bracket will come right off the rotor. I want to transfer the brake line to the new caliper. So I've got it zip tied, but I do have some room. I can move it around so I can get the thread started. I've got my bolt right here, and this is what it's going to look like when you assemble it. You're going to have one of these copper washers on the inside and on the outside, so that brake line is going to go in between. Now I do have some shop towels and some cardboard on the floor because you are going to lose some fluid, and I want to do this now before I put my new pads and caliper on, because if any brake fluid gets on anything, I can wipe it off, and I don't want it on the new parts. You'll need a 14mm socket to loosen this up. You see I have that copper washer on both sides. Now that I got the brake line attached to the new caliper, I can go ahead and cut the zip tie for the old caliper. Make sure you hold it up, because if you tip it over, you will lose a lot of fluid. I have the brake line installed onto the new caliper, still zip tied up and out of my way, no pressure on the line. Just going to wipe up some of the fluid that came behind here, and then we'll go ahead and install the new rotor and caliper bracket. Now as far as rotors go, I only use these PowerStop Evolution coated rotors. They have like an E-coat on them. You'll see when I get it out of the package, but you don't even have to clean them. You'll see how they have this gray E-coat. It's perfectly clean. There's no brake cleaner needed. You can just go ahead and stick them right on. Now with the new rotor on, we can go ahead and install the caliper bracket. To install the pad hardware, which are these little clips right here. It's going to go on there like that, and then you should push down a little bit and you'll kind of feel them pop into place. There'll be one there and one right here. So now we're almost ready to install our pads. I like to do just a dry fit right now, just to make sure that they fit okay. If they're really tight, you can grind a little bit off of these ends right here to make them fit a little better. Now you want your pads just kind of snug. You don't want to hammer those in or have to press them in. These need to be able to move back and forth so they don't drag. Now that I know they fit really good, we need to get some brake grease, and we're going to put brake grease right here and right here on these guides, and that's going to help your pads slide in and out so you don't get so much brake drag. All right, so I got the brake grease onto the brake pad guides. I've got the brake pads in place. They should slide right into place. You should not have to force these at all. And now I need to unclip the new caliper, bring that around and slide it onto the pads. I'm going to put a little bit of brake grease on the caliper as well. So I've got my brake grease on the piston, and I've got it on the inside right here. And what that's going to do is that's going to make sure that it does slide around, it doesn't adhere, and it's also going to make sure it doesn't squeak from a vibration squeak. Tighten these caliper bolts to 30 foot-pounds. You need to bleed that caliper, so you're going to come up here to your brake fluid reservoir, take this cap off, and you're going to fill this all the way to the top. While we bleed the brakes, we definitely don't want this to get low. Caliper, locate your bleed screw. It's best if you have a little clear tube coming off of here so you can see air bubbles. Otherwise, have some type of catch pan to catch the brake fluid. And what you're going to do, depending on which kind you get, you're going to loosen and tighten this. This one's only like a 7mm, but it could be 7, 8, up to 10mm bleed screws. But you're going to want a wrench to open and close this. The second person, they can set in here and pump the brakes for you. All you're going to do is tell them down, up as you open and close the bleeder. Otherwise, you can cut like a 2x4, or I just have this adjustable tube that goes from the brake pedal to the seat, and then I can just adjust the seat with the power button to kind of push it down and compress the brake pedal. With the brake pedal compressed with it down, you're going to open up the bleed screw. As you can see, there's some fluid that comes out. Then go ahead and close it. And then you're going to release the brake, push it back down, and do the same thing. And you're going to repeat this step until you no longer see air bubbles in your tubing. Or I recommend you do this about 8 to 10 times to bleed out all the air. Alright, so once you're done bleeding the brake, you're going to make sure this is nice and tight. And then there should be a little black cap to push over top of that. And now we can go ahead and put the wheel back on. Alright, so we're just going to get all the lug nuts on the wheel snug. Gotta go at a star pattern. Now we're going to go ahead and start the passenger side, but you might as well add a little more brake fluid now so you're ready. Down, up, down, up, down, Up. Now you just want to kind of drive around a subdivision, maybe about 15-20 miles an hour, hit the brakes a couple times and test it out. Congratulate yourself on doing this all on your own. You didn't have to take it to a mechanic or a steeler. You saved yourself a lot of time and money, and you learned a little bit about your car. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.